entire universe is pervaded in my avyakta murti. The deities are vyakta murti, we can see them, but the avyakta, we can't see them, they're unmanifest. The Krishna is in every atom. Right? He's making it all work. He's making those atoms and electrons and protons and neutrons. He's making it all together at work. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. First he says he's pervading his unmet, and then he says that I am not in them. So, what is that? And the next verse is even better. How does it start? Jamams Kali Karmani. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence, although I am everywhere. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence, although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. So, of course, Krishna is speaking about different aspects of himself. As Brajendra Nanda, Krishna, playing the flute, he's dancing, he's nothing to do with this place. Prabhupada would say, a rich man, the factories are running, his factory is just by his energy, his employees. He's off on a yacht somewhere, in the Caribbean. So Krishna, he's got nothing to do in this whole place, but he's very involved as Super Soul. And that's his mercy. And that's his kindness. Can you imagine if you found out from a Brigu reader? Everybody wants to go to the Brigu, right? Find out what I was. How I was a king or a queen. What about all those cockroach births? You don't want to know about that. I want to find out what I was, where I'm at now, and what I'm going to be. So, what if the Brigu reader told you, well, in your next life you're going to be a pig. So then you take it as gospel truth, Brigu said, and you go back to your friends and family and you say, oh, my dear friends and family, I just found out from a Brigu reader that in my next life I will be a pig. So I know you'll be very happy because you love me so much to accompany me in my next life into the pig pen. Yeah? Thanks. Love has its limits in the material world. Sorry. We're not going there. But Krishna, he goes with us, as Super Soul. He's accompanying us into the pig pen, whether a demigod or whatever, a dog or a demigod. He's monitoring us. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakaya. There's two birds sitting in the tree of the material body. One's the eating bird. Sometimes the fruit's sweet, sometimes it's sour. And there's the witness bird, and he's just waiting for us. When is this person going to turn toward me and stop trying to enjoy the fruits of the tree of the body, which always lets us down? Yes. So this philosophy, so Krishna's everywhere, but he's all pervading, but he's aloof too. And that resolves, by speculation, we can't figure God out, If he's all good and all powerful, why is there evil, why is there suffering? The problem of evil is completely solved by Achinta Tattva. But people have to be willing to take responsibility. Why am I suffering? Well, guess what? I've done something. That's a bitter pill to swallow, right? We just want to make it that life isn't fair, and therefore we have to have affirmative action to give everybody a level playing field. Everybody really is the same, and we're going to go forward together, live forever, happily ever after in the material world. Sorry, doesn't work. Misunderstanding the purpose of life. Yes, we're all equal in our free will in various ways, and therefore we're all more or less suffering. This philosophy of achintya bheda bhedatattva, inconceivable oneness and difference, is the perfect philosophy enunciated by the Vaishnavas. So, that's the matchless gift we can give. Achintya bheda bheda. Otherwise, nothing makes any sense. Neither what the scientists say makes any sense, neither what the impersonalists say, or the sectarian religionists. It's all just blind men feeling different parts of the elephant and saying, no, it's a snake, the trunk. This thing is a snake. No, it's a pillar. No, it's a wall. Just different aspects. But Krishna consciousness makes the best sense. It ties it all up. Therefore, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitra Vidamutaram, Pratyaksha Vadamanga, gives direct perception of the self by realization. Susukam Kartum Avyayam, and we should enjoy serving Krishna. We are enjoyers, but we enjoy by serving, not by trying to be Krishna. Speculative knowledge cannot give us reality. What was that line I liked in the 7th lesson? Remember, in Finding Our Mission in His Mission, Prabhupada saying that 4th canto, purport, I think, or 3rd canto. A devotee is as thoughtful as a non-devotee is speculative. There's a difference. In both cases, the mind is being used. But in one case, the mind is taken as the center, as the guru. It's a bad guru. And in the other, the mind is being engaged to meditate on Krishna's words. Krishna says, I am the taste of water. So we taste water, especially as it is, and then, just fresh from the rain. How's the water coming out of the tap here? Can you drink it?
You can drink it.
You can drink it. Is that recommended?
Yeah.
It's okay. Especially as it is, that you appreciate the quenching power, the sweetness, the freshness. That's what it's. Krishna says, I am the taste. That's me. I am the taste of the water. So that's using our mind in a thoughtful way in terms of Shastra. But if I just taste the water and I try to speculate about what it is and analyze it chemically, and you always come out with some answer of what it is. Impersonal or void, something that's just imagined, and it's not going to be connected to the Supreme Person. You ever hear the example of the movie theater in terms of realization of the truth? And how you're in the movie theater and you're watching a movie, and the movie is compared to the material world, because the movie you're all absorbed in. What brings you to tears and what brings you to laugh and what brings you to scares you to death. It's just images on a screen. It's not actually real. It's just a reflection of reality. It's a what do they call drama? Willing suspension of disbelief. Right? You say, no, this is just a play. But you suspend that, fact, and you just want to get absorbed in the drama, in the play, right? So you're looking at the movie, and if the acting is really good, and if the cinematography is really good, and the music is really good, it's just happening. You're part of it. And did they have a movie when I was a kid, there was a movie called Psycho. Infamous movie, Alfred Hitchcock. And there was a murder in that movie. And even the lady who played the actress, and she was stabbed in the shower to death. But it was so expertly done, you never actually saw the knife or any blood. It was just the way they did the music and the photography. It was like, it scared you to death. And so, for many years after seeing that movie, I couldn't take a shower without being scared, because I thought somebody's going to come and stab me. And even the lady who played that, Janet Leigh, she said that was to her too. And she was the actress in the movie. So that's how absorbed we get in the reflection. Right? And so the jnani, so that's compared to the materialist. He's watching the movie, he's totally absorbed in the reflection. And then the jnani is the person in the theater who's watching the movie, and then he just doesn't want to suspend his disbelief anymore. He looks up, and he sees a ray of light, and he sees the light of the projection coming forward, and it's just a clear light, and so that's compared to the impersonalist. He doesn't see any variety, he just sees a light coming from the projector. Do they even have projectors anymore? Is it different now? I don't know. What's the technology? Do they have movie projectors?
I haven't been to a theater in 30 years.
Okay, right.
What I know.
Good. And everybody's on the internet. Oh, they still have movie theaters in there.
Nick knows.
You know, good for you. So anyway, that's the clear light, and you're looking up, and you just see a clear light, and you don't see variety, and you think, okay, that's the truth. It's just a clear light. I need to be afraid of the reflection, or unnecessarily exhilarated by it, or saddened by it, or anything. It's just, let me meditate on a clear light. But the devotee is more ambitious. He wants to look through that light, like it says in Isa 15. Iramayena patrena satyasya vihitam mukam tattvam pushana pavranu satyadharmaya drishtaye. O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence, your aura, your jyoti. What an effulgence. It's covering Krishna's face. It's so dazzling. That clear light. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. So the devotee is more ambitious. So in the analogy of the movie theater, the devotee is the person who's sitting there. He's absorbed initially in the reflection. He's not satisfied with that. He looks up at the clear light, and he sees actually it's coming from somewhere. So he gets up out of his seat, he goes to the back of the theater, he gets into the projection booth, and he shakes hands with the guy running the projector, and that's Krishna's. It's working under his direction. So that's the puppet. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions? I'll read the verse again if there are any questions or comments. Although one may consider the reflections of the sun from a mirror to be false, it has its factual existence. Accordingly, to prove by speculative knowledge that there is no reality would be extremely difficult. In other words, forget it. Any questions? Yes.
You mentioned this program at MIT. That was not the same when Prabhupada he challenged the audience at MIT that whereas in this great institution of knowledge, do you have the department that what is researches in the difference between a living and a dead body? Was that that?
Yes.
Was it the same?
Yes, because he only visited MIT once.
Okay. I had the impression it was like a full auditorium like that, but it was a small.
No, as far as I remember, unless I'm mixing up, because when Prabhupada was in Boston that year, 69, yeah, maybe I'm merging two stories, which often happens. Do you remember being in Full House?
I mean, I just heard it later. I mean, I don't know the details at all.
I have to go back and look at that. I don't really. I can't remember quite. I just try to get the point across, and I.
Sure. Yeah. That's also a beautiful thing about Prabhupada. That is, because I heard that it was quite a full audience, and normally I mean they're very argumentative when someone challenged like that, and it was just silence.
Because nobody even it didn't occur to people, It just doesn't occur with the Vaishnava.
But that's an obvious research field, difference between living and dead body. Could there be any more important thing to research actually than think about it?
Yeah.
Nobody does it.
Because everybody's on death row. We're all just going to have it. Every funeral anticipates our own. Right? It may have been, anyway. And Rupa Goswami Goswami, I always invoke Rupa Goswami now to get off the hook. Rupa Goswami, he says, if what you're presenting is philosophically intact, and the tattva is intact, and the rasa, the relationships are intact, then the historical details are not as important. The main thing is that the philosophy has to be correct, and the rasa, the relationship with Krishna and the philosophy. So, those historical, I have to look back. Yes?
How is it that Narada Muni is saying that to prove that there is no reality, it's extremely difficult? How is it that these impersonal and Buddhistic philosophies, they're so popular?
Because they're popular, because they're giving us what we want. Just like how is Dharma so popular? Even what Dharma said after he came out with his theory, if such and such could be shown, then my theory is finished. And such has been shown. But people don't. They want to believe that life comes from matter and that there's no God. What did Dawkins say? Finally, we have Darwin gave us
He made it possible to be
an intellectually fulfilled atheist. We come to the material world to ignore Krishna. Prabhupada said ignorance means ignorance. Ignorance sounds like a passive word. I didn't know. I was ignorant. But Prabhupada always says, no, ignorance means ignorance. We're actually willfully ignoring Krishna. Done. So when you have, Mayavad gives the appearance that you can be spiritual without surrendering to God, without surrendering to the person from whom we've run away. And so I told the story in Satsuru, when Steve said to Swamiji, if Krishna is all attractive, why is it so hard to surrender unto him? And Prabhupada said, because you hate him. Somehow your consciousness has become perverted, and you hate the very person who is the most wonderful person. You're under the mode of ignorance here. So if you really go to if you really get into Mayavad philosophy, it makes no bloody sense. I remember I took philosophy of Eastern religion in college, and it was an Indian man teaching it, and it was all Shankara Vedanta, it was all Mayavad. And he was the most confused person in the class because he had read more than we had. He would go to make a point, and then he would just giggle, because then he would think of the opposite, right? And he couldn't resolve it. He couldn't have a Vaishnava synthesis of it. Nothing made any sense. Like in Isopanishad, it says, it's all paradox in the beginning. It says, Tade jati, tanai jati, tan dure, tan vantike, tanantarasya sarvasya, tadu sarvasyasya bhakataha. The Supreme Lord, Tade jati, he walks, tanai jati, and he doesn't walk. Well, what is it? Does he walk or doesn't he walk? But he walks, but not in a material way. He doesn't have material walking. When he takes a step, he can cover the universe, like Vamdev, right? That's Krishna's walking. Tadure, he's far away. Oh, below. Way beyond. But Tadvantike, but he's closer than my heartbeat. He's a super soul. He's the self of myself. Tadantarasya sarvasya. He's within everything. Sarvasyasya bhakataha. And again, he's outside of everything. What is he? Is he far away? Is he here? Is he in or there? Well, he's everything, inconceivably and simultaneously. Therefore, Mother Yashoda couldn't compute it when she saw herself inside Krishna's mouth. Okay, don't eat dirt anymore, Prabhupada said. Krishna said, Yashoda said, don't eat dirt anymore. I'm your mom, so do what I say. And that was more pleasing to Krishna than when she was like, oh! She was totally in awe. He didn't want that. There's one recording Prabhupada says, everybody, Krishna's thinking, everybody worships me. as the supreme. Nobody's coming to scold me. I want that. I want to be scolded by my mom. He likes that more. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. You're right. But that's what we want. It appeals to our false ego. It's the last snare of Maya. It's all one, I must be God. After I fail at everything else, right? Then Prabhupada says, I unceremoniously declare myself God. After I failed at everything else, okay, I'm God. That's the last chance to enjoy it. It doesn't make any sense. I'm kicking God. Prabhupada would say, now die. Okay? Anything else? I'm God, but I'm hungry. Yes.
I mean, you mentioned spiritual sky. Is that still going on in America?
No, I think it was sold. I think that's what finally happened. The devotees sold it. I don't know why, I forget the history.
I heard.
I think it still exists, but it's not a devotee business.
I heard that Tom Krishna Maharaj closed it down, and later on said that was the biggest mistake of his life.
Oh,
But the rationale was that devotees, they were making incense and selling them, not selling books. He thought that they've been taken away from book distribution. So then by selling that, then he could increase book distribution. He found that out that didn't happen because these devotees couldn't distribute books and they lost their employment.
yeah, and you can do both. Prabhupada approved the business. Yeah. As book distribution was exploding, some devotees were just more inclined to business, so Prabhupada, okay.
Yeah, that concept of false, it's always, I must be honest, a little bit confusing because
Prabhupada does say it's false sometimes. But
Yeah.
the Vaishnava understanding of false is that it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's true, but it's temporary. That's all. It's just temporary. That's what false means. Therefore, there's no ultimate happiness in it. Even if we like the false, we can't, it's here today, gone tomorrow. Fame, if you win it, comes and goes in a minute, is the song in America. Fame, if you win it, comes and goes in a minute. Doesn't last. The whole show, as Prabhupada said in the record, the whole show is just temporary, like a mass of clouds in the sky. Right? Nice now, but then it's going to be, who knows what's going to happen in 2 hours in Copenhagen. It might be, I might go to the lake and then I might freeze if I don't wear my coat. So you can't enjoy it. It's always changing things.
In general, we are not so fond of Mayavadi philosophy. But Shankaracharya, he makes a very good point in one verse that Prabhupada quoted, that one should consider the illusory form of the opposite sex and what it's actually made of, like bones and blood. So I was just thinking, this kind of negative, rejective meditation, if that is favorable for advancement in Krishna consciousness.
Rejection of?
That one is considering just the gross
Oh,
physical
yeah.
elements, what it actually is, and then consequently rejecting,
Yeah.
or just rather focusing on just engaging in Krishna's service.
In the beginning, there's something in the third chapter like that. In the beginning, it's just kind of healthy to just, to be, to negate it. Or that's, Brahma bodies, not Maya bodies, but Brahma bodies that's where they're at. They're seeing the falsity of the material world. So it's a neophyte. It's an understanding of that this material world is really not worth pursuing. So that's good. But that's just the beginning. Ultimately, even if we have that realization, we ultimately will go back to the sense, the material sense of the sense objects, unless we come to something higher. because it's not satisfying just to negate everything. You know, that's therefore Krishna consciousness is called the positive alternative. You know, we negate material form, but how do you do that? By becoming absorbed in the form of Krishna. Otherwise, we are sentient and we do have form and we do want activity, we do want relationship and love and all this, but it's only reflected in the material world. The material world is like an advertisement, you know. Like the whole ad industry is based on, you know, a lie that you can enjoy. And you can see with the ads, they always tell you that you're in control now. You can do it. You know, it's for you. It's the whole world's for you, and this watch is going to make you happy. This car, this computer. Yeah, you're in control. They know that this is what is going to motivate people to buy. The more you can make them think, I'm in control and I'm going to enjoy. They don't know ultimately the goal of life, but they know what motivates people. Yeah. Okay, it's getting late. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
I just googled this, and there is a spiritual sky, incense, and perfume, and oils, and like that.
Yeah, I think it's on by someone else.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't check with it, but yeah.
But it's still Krishna?
I just see them there.
Krishna's on there.
Krishna's on there. Or maybe they kept the wrapper, because that's what people do when they buy out.
Yeah.
They keep the brand.
Yeah.
You know, but they somebody else. I don't think they do.
Somehow they were
I'm pretty sure devotees. Because you heard that Jamal Krishna Maharaj sold it.
I told that he's already.
Okay, so I think that's why.
I think we take this out inside here somewhere.
And
Okay.
Take this out inside here.
Mataji, I'm going to give you the clothes.
Thanks.
I'm going to change and
getting old.
Ja.